Kentucky joined the Union on June 1st, 1792, and from day one it came packed with fast horses, deep caves, and hollers so strange they should probably come with a warning label. This is the 37th largest state, but don't let its size fool you. Kentucky produces 95% of the world's bourbon, some of the finest thoroughbred racehorses on the planet, and enough bluegrass tourism to make lawn care companies weep with envy. And while Louisville gets all the headlines, the actual state capital is Frankfort, population about 28,000, small, mighty, and constantly reminding everyone, yes, we promise we're really the capital. Kentucky's history swings wildly from frontier drama to full-blown national impact. Daniel Boone helped blaze the Wilderness Road, one of the most important migration routes in early America. The state stayed officially neutral at the start of the Civil War, but still managed to produce commanding generals for both sides. Talk about hedging your bets. Economically, Kentucky runs on a mix of manufacturing, agriculture, automotive plants, bourbon, and a dash of coal history. Though these days, Ford trucks come off Kentucky assembly lines faster than you can say, "Don't scratch the paint." And then there's the geography. Under your feet is a Swiss cheese labyrinth of limestone caves, over 400 miles at Mammoth Cave alone, making it the largest cave system in the world. Above ground are towns with names like Possum Trot, Monkey's Eyebrow, and Bugtussle. Real places, real proud, real Kentucky. If you're visiting, you can stop at Vent Haven Museum, the world's only ventriloquist dummy museum. You can tour the Bourbon Trail, hike Red River Gorge, or visit Hell for Certain, a real place that pairs beautifully with a stop at Purgatory Hill. And if that's not enough, the state also offers Dog Slaughter Falls, which is thankfully much prettier than its name. But Kentucky doesn't just offer beauty, history, and good whiskey. It also offers mysteries. Lights in remote hollers, stories whispered through caves, and roadside legends tucked between the bluegrass blades. And those are why we're here tonight. Tonight, we ride the Kentucky Paranormal Highway.
The truth is out there, and it begins with you. Welcome to the Cosmic Fold, where we talk high strangeness. Call us at 928-288-2942. That's 928-288-2942. Or join us by video. If you're at a computer, just look for the link in the chat. Buckle up, sit around our virtual campfire, and let's get started.
In the spring of 1929, the people of Letcher County, Kentucky were dealing with something far scarier than economic trouble. Today's story comes from the Lexington Herald Leader, May 1st, 1929, and it starts with one man who decided to investigate the apparition himself. Along a lonely stretch of the Kentucky-Virginia Highway, drivers began reporting the same terrifying encounter. A man would suddenly appear in the middle of the road, sprinting directly into the path of their cars, only to vanish before they could hit the brakes. What began as a single strange sighting soon turned into a full-blown community panic. The earliest known witness was a young minister named Reverend Charles Haynes of Sargent. One night, Haynes was driving home when a figure burst into the beam of his headlights. It looked like a man running straight toward his vehicle. Haynes slammed on the brakes, heart racing, but before he could react, the figure bolted across the road and disappeared into the darkness. Haynes tried to explain it away, but the next night, it happened again. And the next. Every time he returned to that spot, the same thing occurred. The figure rushed into the road, forced him to stop, and then darted across the pavement before fading into the night. Haynes eventually told his family, his friends, and his neighbors, and many of them agreed to ride along with him to see if the apparition would return. It did. Witnesses described a clearly human-shaped figure that moved with purpose, as if reenacting the same moment over and over. These were people who normally dismissed ghost stories, yet each of them came away shaken by what they saw. Word spread quickly. Women and children refused to leave their homes after dark. Motorists avoided the highway entirely. The figure never touched a vehicle, never made a sound, and never appeared during the day. It simply emerged from the darkness, rushed toward the lights, and vanished. Authorities never identified anyone who might match the apparition, and no prankster ever came forward. After several weeks, the encounters simply stopped. To this day, no one knows who the roadside runner was or why he appeared. But in 1929, the sightings were real enough to frighten an entire community and convince even the skeptics that something unexplained was haunting the highway. And remember, this is only one of many strange and unsettling stories tied to this region. Kentucky's roads are filled with legends, mysteries, and encounters that defy easy explanation. This is the Kentucky Paranormal Highway. Welcome to the fold.
Hey, everybody's! When we've got Day here too, wearing a nice colored purple or blue or something. Is it purple?
Very nice.
You guys are mute or something. Can't hear you.
As I can deal with the cryptids and the ghosts, but you know what really creeped me out?
Huh?
The Ventriloquist Museum.
Isn't that weird? That is kind of
that's
creepy.
That is creepy. I know how much you love dolls, Bo.
Yeah, oh yeah, thanks. You're swell.
Well,
Just trying to
something
help.
not quite as creepy, but very weird. Al found this story. We're deviating from the Kentucky Paranormal Highway because this was just too good not to share. It is insane. He gets to read it too. I kind of summarized your story, Al.
Okay.
So he took a wrong turn somewhere along the Kentucky Paranormal Highway. So now we're in a CIA file.
We're in a CIA file.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. According to a 1993 Kiev newspaper and apparently the CIA's filing cabinet, a UFO allegedly turned 23 soldiers into limestone popsicles. Yes, limestone. Kentucky would be proud, except this happened in Siberia. The report claims a glowing sphere zoomed in, hissed like a demonic tea kettle, then flash fried an entire military unit into stone poles. 2 guys survived because they were standing in the shade. So, yeah, this is actually a legit page from, and there's a lot more of these. I just got to get a hold of them.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah. Russia International paper reports alleged evidence on mishap involving UFO. Kiev Holos, Ukrainian, and whatever. It says it's in a reprint from Cosmic Revenge or some. Mikhail Gorbachev dissolved in 1991 the KGB, Top Secret Intelligence Administration. A lot of material from that department found their way abroad, particularly to the CIA, as reported by the authoritative magazine Canadian Weekly World News. U.S. intelligence obtained a 250-page file on the attack by a UFO on a military unit in Siberia. The file contains not only many documentary photographs and drawings, but also testimonies by actual participants in the event. One of the CIA representatives referred to this case as a horrific picture of revenge on the part of extraterrestrial creatures. A picture that makes
dollars at work.
Right? So anyway, the KB says sure, so why not, right? The document says that KGB has photos, drawings, and testimonies describing the UFO attack. Sadly, none of these photos survived the journey to the CIA. How convenient. Experts supposedly concluded that the mystery energy transformed human beings into something chemically identical to limestone. Translation, we don't know what this is, but we're absolutely confident it ruined somebody's day.
Hey, Joy, and
Hi,
hey, Teresa,
Joy.
and everyone else.
Yeah, I got to get more of those. A CIA rep is quoted as saying, with the enthusiasm of someone who's seen one too many memos, that the KGB report is real. It means aliens possess weapons far beyond human understanding. In short, we are so doomed. And that concludes today's completely unrelated detour from the Kentucky Paranormal Highway back to bluegrass, bourbon, and ghosts, none of which have turned anyone into sedimentary rock.
Yet. Oh, Al, that was just such an awesome find. That was really good.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know, that site, the CIA site, the library or whatever it's called, there is so much in there. It's like you have to know what to even search for. It's just
hundreds of thousands of pages. It's a massive library.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, so are we ready for stretch 1 of the Kentucky Paranormal Highway?
Yeah.
Tonight is ghosts. There's so much there that it's just one topic. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry.
Haunted places. Eat. Part 1 of the Kentucky Paranormal Highway. No, it's not, but it was right there. I'll throw it in there. Kentucky has it all, man. Ghosts that won't hush, UFOs that won't identify themselves, hence unidentified, caverns that look like they were carved by something with too many legs, and cryptids that definitely weren't in the state tourism brochure. Tonight, on the Paranormal Highway, we're diving into the Bluegrass State's greatest haunted hits and a few weird little backroad mysteries that probably should stay well hidden.
Oh, great.
Well, Kentucky has just a wealth of these just insane stories. So it's like, we'll just hit the easy ones first tonight.
Right? Shaker Village of Pleasant Hill. This is in Harrodsburg. Shaker Village isn't just the largest restored Shaker settlement in the United States. It's basically a 3,000-acre history theme park with 34 original buildings, miles of fences, and apparently a pretty active baby monitor featured near the pond. Visitors swear they've heard ghostly infants crying after dark, which really raises questions about what the Shakers were up to after hours. By day, it's all peaceful meadows. It's all ball bearings these days. Handmade furniture, and wholesome farm-to-table charm. By night, though, the place has enough eerie bumps, tugs, whispers, and phantom footsteps to make even veteran ghost hunters rethink their career choices. And the guest experiences? Well, they range from mildly spooky to I'm sleeping with the lights on until 2047. Beds mysteriously dip as if somebody invisible sits down. Doors rattle and tug like something wants in or out. And more than a few visitors have reported sleep paralysis, icy chills, and unseen hands fussing with their blankets. The Tanyard House in particular has its own fan club of the terrified, and the trustees building apparently hosts spirits who are very committed to nighttime door latch aerobics. Shaker Village may be serene in the daylight, but once darkness hits, let's just say the spirits of Pleasant Hill get a lot less pleasant.
And you can book a night there and stay. It's supposedly a pretty cool resort, but
no.
At the Kentucky Haunted House, they have like all these comments, with people's experiences, and that's where that came from. There's a ton of them.
KentuckyHauntedHouses.com. Louisville. The Steel Bach Hotel isn't just fancy. It comes with its very own ghostly VIP, known affectionately as the Lady in Blue. Most people say she was Patricia Wilson, a woman hoping a romantic getaway would save her troubled marriage. Her husband never made it. He died in a car accident on the way to the hotel. Heartbroken and alone, Patricia was later found at the bottom of an elevator shaft under circumstances that still make historians shrug and say, well, that's unsettling. Whether it was an accident or something more tragic, guests swear she never checked out. And she definitely keeps busy. Visitors report hallway lights flickering, sudden chills, and on at least one memorable occasion, a friend disappearing mid-scream only to reappear later with zero memory of what happened. The eyewitness says the Lady in Blue looked completely normal until you make the mistake of looking into her eyes. Then you turn to stone. Wait, that's the wrong lady. Apparently, the paranormal equivalent of clicking a pop-up you really shouldn't have These days, plenty of guests refuse to walk Sealback's hallways alone because you never know what might turn a corner when you might turn a corner and find yourself face to face with Louisville's most elegant ghost.
Ooh, I like the building.
Yeah, it's a
cool building. Very cool. Usually they're ladies in white, so this one has its own twist.
The Nada Tunnel. Nada, Powell County. Nada Tunnel, pronounced Nada. That would have been good information to have. Is a 900-foot sandstone tube blasted out in 1910 to 1970 so the Dana Lumber Company could haul logs out of the Red River Gorge. Originally only 12 feet high, the first train promptly got stuck. So they blew the top open another foot and called it good. After the forest was stripped bare, the company packed up, pulled out the tracks, and left the tunnel behind. Today, it's a one-lane, unlit, slightly claustrophobic getaway to the Red River Gorge. Perfect for motorists who enjoy the thrill of wondering whether a pickup truck is coming straight at them. Yeah, we got a couple of one-way covered bridges here.
Oh yeah,
and they're dark and long, and you never know what the hell's coming at the other side. But Nada Tunnel didn't just inherit a road; it inherited a ghost. Local legend says a construction worker died when a stick of dynamite exploded while he was thawing it by a fire.
Dumbass.
Pretty much, yeah. Which is, frankly, the most Kentucky lumber campsite ever. Some visitors claim to see his spirit lingering inside the tunnel. Others swear they hear footsteps echoing where no one should be. Between the narrow walls, total darkness, and a possibly explosive ghost, Nada Tunnel offers a charming blend of history, geology, and nope, absolutely not.
I thought that one was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And the Talbot Tavern. Ooh, that's got little eyes. Looks like eyes on that building. And this is in Bardstown. The old Talbot Tavern in Bardstown is basically Kentucky's original Airbnb. Opened up in 1779, and according to local lore, never closed a single day since. It's hosted everyone from Daniel Boone to Louis Philippe of France to a very cranky Abraham Lincoln family. And somewhere between the Revolutionary War and the invention of bourbon, Bourbon tourism.
My brother did that. He was like out there just drinking all this bourbon.
Did he finish it?
No, because there was
a bourbon tour would end about halfway through.
You're thinking about
that was what was the big hurricane that hit mostly North Carolina? It went all the way down into Kentucky. So
God, we've had so many up there. We had three
really bad
one year. Probably
that one like Fran. 2 summers ago, I think, or last summer.
I'm thinking back in the 90s. Never mind.
Anyway, it went all the way into Kentucky, and so he was bike riding and doing the bourbon tour. It got cut short. It got cut short because of
passed
the
out
hurricane.
From too much bourbon. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the place has collected more ghosts than Yelp stars. All right, its most famous spectral guest is Jesse James, who allegedly left bullet holes in the mural after a night of bad aim and good whiskey. Visitors today report orbs dancing around their rooms, dinnerware sliding mysteriously across tables, and antique furniture that sometimes decides it's had enough of sitting still and starts hopping like it's auditioning for Poltergeist, Kentucky edition. And then there's the Lady in White, because what's a centuries-old inn without one elegant floating Victorian apparition? She's been spotted wandering dining rooms, standing at bedsides, and in at least one case, hovering over a couple until they fled the scene at 3 a.m. like their lives.
Oh.
Staff members tell stories of footsteps in empty halls, phantom music, doors opening on their own, and Jesse James himself laughing before disappearing through the fire escape. Even the TVs and heaters get into the mischief, turning themselves on and off at night like bored teenagers. With centuries of history, world-class hauntings, and enough ghost stories to fill a season of cable TV, the old Talbot Tavern isn't just Kentucky's oldest inn, it might be its busiest after dark. And you can find all about it on talbottavern.com.
Yep. What's cool about these is that they're still active and you can rent them and except for the tunnel. I mean, you could just go there for free.
Well,
but
someone else can rent them. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I like the architecture that we've been seeing.
That's very cool. I like the turrets up top.
Yeah.
This is the Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Louisville's towering monument to the White Plague is sprawling. Gothic former tuberculosis hospital, now infamous as one of the world's most haunted places where tragic history and relentless paranormal activity collide. Did we get a video for this?
Yep, we get a video for this
We got
one.
a video.
Woo!
Yeah, this one's pretty famous. So here we go.
Louisville, Kentucky is one of the most infamous buildings in American history. Its massive brick structure sits above the treetops like a forgotten fortress, and its name has become synonymous with suffering and death. But long before any of those stories, Waverly Hills Sanatorium began as something much simpler, a schoolhouse built on a peaceful piece of land. In 1883, Major Thomas Hayes purchased the land with the intention of building a family home. With very few local schools nearby, he also constructed a small one-room schoolhouse for his daughters. The teacher he hired was Lizzie Lee Harris. She was a fan of the Waverly novels by Sir Walter Scott, and she named the school after them. Hayes liked the name, so he just decided to call his entire property Waverly Hill. By the early 1900s, Louisville faced a growing crisis. Tuberculosis, often referred to as the White Plague, was sweeping through the population. The disease was highly contagious and extremely deadly, and the city's medical facilities were overwhelmed. Doctors and public health officials needed an isolated location where patients could be quarantined and treated away from the general population. The peaceful elevated land at Waverly Hills was seen as the perfect place. In 1910, the original Waverly Hills Sanatorium opened, a modest two-story wooden structure that could hold around 40 patients. At the time, there was no known cure for tuberculosis. Doctors were relying on methods that they believed could slow the disease. Things such as rest and sunlight or clean air and food. The approach was gentle, but the disease was not. TB spread quickly and the number of infected patients skyrocketed. Before long, Waverly Hills was completely overwhelmed. To manage the overflow, tents and temporary shacks were set up on the grounds, but it wasn't really enough. In 1924, construction began on a new, much larger facility, and by 1926, a 5-story Gothic brick structure stood on the hill. A massive state-of-the-art sanatorium capable of treating over 400 patients at a time. With its own power plant, post office, laundry, and even farmland, Waverly Hills functioned like a self-contained city. Once a patient was admitted, they rarely left the property, and many never did. The treatments administered inside weren't what we'd recognize today as effective. In the absence of antibiotics, doctors turned to desperate and often brutal methods. Patients were encouraged to sit outside even in winter for hours, sometimes covered in snow, under the belief that the fresh air would heal their lungs. More extreme cases are surgeries like thoraceplasty, where ribs were removed to allow diseased lungs to collapse and rest. Others had balloons inflated inside their lungs and underwent complete lung removal. These procedures were painful, risky, and rarely successful. Most of these patients did not survive. Estimates vary on how many people died at Waverly Hills, but historical records suggest around 8,000 deaths occurred during its time as a tuberculosis hospital. Staff at the sanatorium went to great lengths to preserve hope among the patients that were there. One method was the use of a 525-foot tunnel beneath the building that led from the hospital to the bottom of the hill. Originally, it was designed as a supply route for coal and food delivery. It was eventually used to discreetly move bodies of the deceased rather than carrying corpses through the main building, where other patients might see them. They were wheeled down the tunnel on carts. Over time, it became known as something a bit darker. They called it the body chute. By the late 1940s, a breakthrough changed everything. The discovery and use of streptomycin, the first effective antibiotic for tuberculosis, meant that sanatoriums like Waverly Hills were no longer needed. Recovery was finally possible. Admissions dropped off, and then the once overpopulated facility grew extremely quiet. And in 1961, Waverly Hills officially closed its doors as a tuberculosis hospital. The building reopened a year later under a new name, the Woodhaven Geriatric Center. It was converted into a long-term care facility for the elderly and individuals with severe and physical mental disabilities. But the transformation didn't bring new life to Waverly. Underfunding, neglect, and overcrowding quickly led to deteriorating conditions. Reports of patient mistreatment and unsanitary practices were, let's just say, quite popular. And by 1980, the state shut down Woodhaven for good. Ownership changed hands several times, with failed attempts to repurpose the building. A few examples here are a prison, they tried to do apartments, and even a giant statue of Jesus. But none of those things ever materialized. The once grand sanatorium was left to rot. Vandals broke in and nature took over, and then stories began to surface about Waverly Hills not just being abandoned, but haunted. Today, the building has been partially restored and is maintained by the Waverly Hills Historical Society, founded by its current owners, Charlie and Tina Mattingly. While some visit for the architecture or to learn about its medical history, many come hoping to experience something paranormal. And according to a steady stream of visitors and investigators, Waverly Hills doesn't disappoint. The Body Chute is often one of the first stops on ghost tours. Guests will often describe sudden drops in temperature, voices in the tunnels, or heavy footsteps behind them when no one else is there. Some people even leave the tunnel visibly shaken up, claiming they felt as though someone was watching them or even following them while on the tour. Another popular area is room 502, perhaps the most infamous room in the entire building. According to local lore, a nurse took her own life in this room during the 1920s, after learning that she was pregnant out of wedlock. Another version just says that she was hanging from a light fixture, and it seems that the story varies depending on who you ask. A second nurse is also rumored to have jumped from the rooftop or the balcony just outside the same room, again, depending on who you ask. No official records have ever confirmed these deaths, but the stories still persist. Maybe they were lost to time. Who knows? Regardless, visitors report hearing whispers or seeing unexplained figures, even feeling a sudden wave of despair as soon as they step inside the room. There are also mentions involving a young spirit known as Timmy, who is said to be the ghost of a child who died at Waverly Hills. Timmy reportedly plays with toys left behind by guests. People have left rubber balls in hallways only to watch them roll on their own, and then other people say they've heard faint giggling or tiny footsteps following them around the children's ward or on upper floors. Now, one of the more unsettling entities reported is the Creeper. He's described as a dark humanoid shadow that crawls on walls and ceilings. The Creeper is said to emit a feeling of overwhelming dread. It doesn't interact like the other spirits do. It just watches and lurks at the edge of your vision. Several investigators now have claimed to see it moving across rooms in ways that no human ever could. Paranormal teams from shows like Ghost Adventures and BuzzFeed Unsolved have all captured unexplained sights and sounds on camera while investigating Waverly Hills. Skeptics argue these sightings are just tricks of light or the effects of walking through a building filled with so much history of death. I mean, after all, it's pretty easy to feel spooked in a dark, crumbling structure where thousands once suffered and died. Year after year, people return with fresh accounts of things they can't explain. Today, Waverly Hills operates as a historical landmark and paranormal attraction. The Mattingleys offer daytime history tours, seasonal haunted houses, and they even offer overnight ghost hunts. Visitors will walk through the same halls where patients once struggled for breath and listen for sounds that don't belong there. Whether or not they actually believe in ghosts, most leave Waverly with a very different opinion from when they first went in.
That's one of the most famous ones of all.
Wow.
You're mute, Al. You're mute.
The Body Chute, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, that was creepy.
I guess they did that so that other patients wouldn't see, people being carted off. But yeah, that's pretty gross. The whole thing is just kind of nasty.
500
But
long-foot tunnel.
Yep. But
No,
you could look at
as a
YouTube.
practicality. You would do that as a requirement if you're disposing of that many corpses. You need an efficient way to save backs and staff, and you don't have time for this. You would do this as a requirement. You would not do that so nobody sees.
See, if it were me, I'd put a handrail, do the whole thing, and just let the cart go.
Yeah.
And have someone at the bottom to catch it.
Exactly. But man, that TB was so bad. I just hope another pandemic like that doesn't come back. It's like even Arizona. There's places all over.
I don't think TB will come back, but I'm pretty sure hepatitis B is going to be back soon.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and then there were in Kentucky other TB things that aren't talked about so much. They have this huge cave system underneath the state. And so some of these caves were being used as TB medical facilities as well.
Yeah.
I know Arizona has tons of places because they thought the clean air out here would, dry air would kind of knock it out.
Right.
To dry heat.
Yes.
Yep.
But anyway, he covered it pretty well, I think, in that
Yeah,
video. All this stuff
good job.
with Waverly.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Ooh.
this one's quite famous too. I recently saw a video about this one. It's really pretty inside. It's really
The
cool.
Octagon Hall. This is in Franklin. The Octagon Hall isn't just a house. It's an architectural dare. Built in 1847 and shaped like an 8-sided brick fortress, it's one of only 3 surviving octagonal homes in the entire country. Over the years, it served as the Caldwell family residence, a Masonic meeting spot, and even a Civil War field hospital, because nothing says multi-purpose like soldiers' secrets and a building shaped like a stop sign. After passing to only its second owner, Dr. Miles Williams, the home eventually became a rental property before history lovers formed the Octagon Hall Foundation to rescue and restore. Today, it sits proudly on the National Register of Historic Places, reminding visitors that Kentucky history doesn't always come in straight lines and right angles. But the real draw, the ghosts, because Octagon Hall has plenty. The most famous is the spirit of a young girl said to have died in a tragic basement kitchen fire in the 1860s. Visitors tell of heavy fireplace kettles swinging on their own, phantom footsteps wandering the halls, and doors that open and close like someone invisible is pacing the night shift. Some guests report a mysterious sweet floral scent in the parlor that suddenly flips to rotting meat, which is definitely not coming from the gift shop. With DVPs captured on tape and stories tied to the Caldwell family, enslaved people and soldiers from both sides of the Civil War, the Octagon Hall earned its reputation as one of the South's most haunted landmarks. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or a brave beginner, the Hall is happy to host you. And I know there's flickering lights behind me. I don't know what they are, but you know.
They come every time for the show.
I know. Whatever, man. I'm used to them.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna name them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Or is it only when I show up? I just saw that.
Yeah, that flicker.
Green.
Yeah.
It went green screen
Yeah.
right here. In the
I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Ghosts. How about the Rose Opera House in Cynthiana? It's me again, Dad. Cynthiana, Kentucky. The Rose Opera House has been entertaining Kentuckians since 1871, making it the oldest continually operating theater in the state, and arguably the only place where you can watch a show, maybe catch a ghost in the same night. It began as the Aeolian Hall Music Association before being purchased and renamed by H.A. Rose, whose family tree eventually produced actor Chris O'Donnell, the Boy Wonder. Didn't he play Robin in Batman and Robin? Chris O'Donnell?
The boy, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just useless information in this giant.
I don't know how you remember.
I don't know.
You don't remember breakfast.
No.
But yes, he did.
Yeah, a wealth of ridiculously unimportant information. Over the decades, it evolved from an opera house to a silent movie venue to a full-fledged theater, opening its new 1941 edition with Down Argentine Way for the bargain price of 5 cents. Today, Rose still hosts movies, plays, concerts, comedy nights, and just about anything else that'll get the people of Cynthiana out of the house. But the real stars of the opera house might be the ones who never take a bow. Rose has landed on more than a few most haunted lists thanks to sightings of a lady in white, a perpetually
It's always
grumpy,
a lady in white.
It's always a lady in white.
I don't know why, but it
I
always
could never
is.
be a ghost because I'm the lady in purple. I'm only in purple. You're only going to see me in purple unless I'm having an off day with laundry.
It's true. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so ghosts, right? Where was I? And a perpetually grumpy, angry man. I feel targeted by that.
I feel
Ghost children who seem to treat two ghost children who seem to treat the place like their personal playground. Visitors report phantom footsteps, balcony doors opening on their own, and a mysterious whistler whose tunes drifted a building along. After closing time, one cleaner in the 80s heard something downstairs and fled the building like a bat out of hell, while modern investigators swear they've heard the same balcony whistling with no living soul in sight. At Rose Opera House, the shows are great, but the ghostly after party might be even better.
Good read there, Al. Good one.
Yeah, that was a very good read.
Now, this one is really famous. I'm sure y'all have heard of this, yes.
Bobby Mackey's Music World. Give Chihuahua back. Bobby Mackey's Music World has the only was the only honky tonk in America where you could line dance, drink beer. Hey, she ain't one.
Oh, shit.
Okay, keep the gummies away from anyway. According to urban legends, you can accidentally stumble into a portal to hell. I thought that was a George Washington bridge. All without leaving Wilder, Kentucky. The place had a backstory so dramatic it made reality TV jealous. A supposed slaughterhouse, a cursed well, and a headless ghost named Pearl Bryan, and a tragic dancer named Johanna, whose love life allegedly ended in poison and melodrama. Researchers have looked into all of it and found absolutely nothing. No records, no curses, no Satanists, just decades of excuse me. Just decades of tall tales stretched so thin they're practically paranormal taffy. But in true Kentucky fashion, when the building was demolished in 2024, they announced a portal and a wall with spooky water stains would lovingly be relocated to the new place, proving once and for all that although the hauntings may not be real, the marketing definitely is. Despite lacking actual evidence of anything supernatural, Bobby Mackey's became a celebrity in the ghost hunting universe. TV shows lined up like it was the Disneyland of the damned, which I thought was Disneyland. Ghost Adventures, Paranormal Lockdown, Ghost Hunters, Portals to Hell, and even BuzzFeed Unsolved all took a swing at the legend. Investigators came, saw, and mostly left with nothing but dramatic slow turns, shaky flashlights, maybe a mild sinus infection from the basement. One reporter took the $35 guided tour twice and concluded nothing happened. But that didn't stop generations of thrill seekers from showing up, hoping for demons, and settling for draft beer.
I mean, that one has been so overhyped, and like it says, none of these stories have been confirmed.
Yeah.
Right.
But good marketing.
Very good. And that, folks, wraps up our haunted pit stops along the Kentucky Paranormal Highway. Next up, we're leaving the land of hauntings and heading straight into the infamous Bluegrass Triangle, home of UFOs, cryptids, mysterious lights, and at least one airborne object that definitely wasn't a weather balloon. Hang tight, because the ghost was just a warm-up act.
Kentucky has some pretty crazy cryptid and UFO stories. The hauntings, too. There's a lot of them out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so one of the things we'll get into next time is they say the reason for it is because there's all kinds of limestone under there. And so it's pseudoscience. And a lot of the ghost hunters call it what do they call it? Ghost tape theory or stone tape theory, something like that. That limestone stores all these energies and amplifies it. But it's got its own triangle, just like the Bermuda Triangle and some of these other ones we talked about.
Cool.
So,
oh, wow.
So have you guys ever been to Kentucky or spent time there?
No.
That's lying.
No.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Sorry.
It's a lime gummy. I said, have you been to Kentucky?
No.
I've been over Kentucky.
I've been through it as a child.
No, I've been to Oklahoma several times. Around Norman. Yeah. I was in Norman, Oklahoma during a wildfire. And I'm sitting on the driveway of my friend RJ's house. And he's somewhat of a prepper. And we're sitting in his garage. And he's got about maybe 10 acres. And it's all in the back of the house. But in the side of the house, there's only maybe 1 acre. And then there's a row of trees, pine trees, tall pines, 60, 70, 80 feet tall. Right behind that was on fire. I mean, 100, 200 acres. You could see the flames coming up over the trees. And I'm like, this is right there.
Oh my God.
So he's sitting out there drinking a beer with a garden hose. I'm like, dude.
Wow.
A garden hose? He goes, it'll be all right. I won't get past the trees. He lives in Florida now.
It got past the trees.
I
Well,
guess.
that's what a lot of them do out here too. They just they have garden hoses that just keep watering their roofs and stuff. And
I mean, I could see watering the roof, but you're not gonna do anything with a garden. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're not going to combat big flames.
Oh, 200, 300 acre. You could read about that. It was back in, I don't know, 2000 or something, maybe. Yeah, when Norman, Oklahoma, about burned to the ground. I went there to do a week-long radio show. We were doing live radio, and they flew me out to the studio there, and I was with this other guy, meteorologist, and it was a fun trip. We went to see the memorial for the. You remember that federal building in Oklahoma City that got?
Oh yeah.
Timothy
memorial.
McVeigh.
Yeah, and part of that is a lucite floor where you can look. You walk over, where the
Oh, cool.
But yeah, the whole state was on fire. That part of the state was on fire. But no, that was Oklahoma. Never been. I don't think I've ever been to Kentucky. Have you been to Kentucky? She's been everywhere.
I'm trying to think. I think I have, but I'm not sure.
I've been a lot of places, but not in them.
Anyway.
I know we had a big fire out this way called the Rodeo Chattisky. Bove, do you remember what year that was?
2001.
Yeah, it was a huge, huge fire. But what was interesting after the fact, when you go hiking around where it was all burnt, it was like you have to be really careful because that fire keeps going down, like where the pine trees used to be. And it'll go like 20, 30 feet. But it was just blanketed in old Indian pottery shards. So apparently there was a giant, civilization out that way that nobody knew about until the trees all burnt down. It was pretty. Carrie and I went there, Bove, out by Linden.
I didn't know this.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was insane. So what do you think about the hauntings, Bove?
We get a little bit of hauntings every week, and sometimes they're creepier and more intense and more nefarious and dark than other times. But I like the whole lady in white thing.
The lady in blue. Got to give her some credit too.
The lady in blue, she'll do.
And then 100 years from now, we'll be talking about the lady in purple and the angry old man.
That's
That's a good color. I like it. I like it. Your place looks really good.
What?
So, I said I like your place. It looks really good. Your new place.
Thank you. We like it too.
Well, that's a good thing. So anyway, that's all I had for tonight, unless anyone has something new.
No, I'm good. Hungry.
That CIA story was awesome, though.
I'm going to see if I can find some more of that. There's a lot of it out there. It's just real tedious to go through it, It
is.
I'll see what I can dig up.
That's why these shows take so long to produce, because it takes so long to find everything.
Yeah.
So
you have to go down 9,000 rabbit trails to find anything real.
You're welcome, Teresa Horsley.
Yes.
9.
Thanks, Teresa. No, I appreciate all the people who come join us.
Yeah.
We tend to get a lot of people after the live, so those that are here for the live get a double thanks. But
yeah.
The next one is
Louisiana?
the next one is part 2 of Kentucky.
He just totally
Ghostbustered
you.
He
What did you do? What did you do?
Ready to believe you.
He just totally movie lined you from the original Ghostbusters.
Have another gummy, Elle.
Movie lines, and that was
Have another gummy. So, well, anyway, thank you all, and are we doing this next Saturday? I guess.
I'm here.
Kentucky. Everyone around?
I'll be here.
I'm here.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks to our guests, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Dave, for joining us. Good to see you.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Peace
Love
out.
to all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining us. We love hearing your stories, so tell your friends so they can join the party. For show notes and our forum of high strangeness, visit cosmicfold.com. Remember, Cosmic Fold airs live on Wednesday and Saturday nights, so be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to know when we're on air. Thanks again and have a great evening.